What's up, everybody? If you're in here, really excited to bring you this video today showing off a new champ that I pulled. So this is my first new legendary that at least is not going straight to the vault in a while. So before I go too far into it, I'll go ahead and show you. I pulled Valkyrie this week. Uh, if you're in any, discords or chats with me, I think my biggest complaint about this game has been how reliant it is on counterattack in the clan boss meta. And I have, as you can see, a fair amount of champs and a fair amount of legendaries. And I did not have any of the counterattack heroes until finally got one today. So I went ahead, used a bunch of brews, leveled her up. Unfortunately, it's not the spirit dungeon day, and I only had enough potions saved to get her to 5 stars. But to get her to 60, a lot of her gear is at plus 15, waiting for that artifact event coming up in order to fully max her out. But got her, close to where I want her, and going to show you a little bit of how I geared her, as well as one clan boss run on Ultra Nightmare with her. So, to give you some preface, I'll go into what the team that I'm running around her is. I'm running Thenisil, Hyctune, Padma, and Dracomorph. So, Valkyrie is in a team with one healer and a speed booster. And so while the rest of my team is in Vamp, I decided to give out a try putting Valk in just full, broken set, speed gear, whatever I had to give her the best stats. Wanted to get her pretty fast as well as pretty tanky. This is not, I think her stats right now are a little bit misleading of the gear I have on her since a lot of them are plus 15. Uh, and ideally, we just have her in 3 speed sets, but I had a couple of broken pieces that I thought were decent that I wanted to use. I'm really hoping this stalwart chest piece comes through and gets a 3rd speed roll. Uh, but yeah, so looking to get her closer to like 5.5k defense and like 240 speed once I get the final upgrades on this, as well as a banner should really make it so that I can get her to more like 240, 250 speed. And go through her skills real quick. I had a couple of skill books saved. I haven't maxed her out yet. Of course, all my books went into her A1, which is just damage, and then nothing into the A2. The books here are pretty big. I think if you're running a slow counter team, then getting the cooldown here is super important because you want to be able to sync up with the clan boss and get on the first round, do a counter attack, have it go through the first 2 AoEs, and then it goes off cooldown during the single target slam, and then you can cast it again. With my current speed, you'll see when I do a clan boss run, even though there's a 4 turn cooldown here, I'm actually matching 4 turns to the clan boss's 3. So I'm only getting counterattack on the first AoE and partial of the second AoE, but it is up every single turn. I still really want to max this though because the shield and damage on this are really really huge. I'm sure you've seen there was like a post on Reddit when this got buffed that the shield here was just crazy. Gives you a lot, and so that's part of why I was trying to run her without Vamp. I thought since she was a defense-based champ and I'd be getting her super tanky, that hopefully, especially with the one immortal set, that I would be able to keep her alive without with only one healer and without the Vamp set. Cool. I'll show her masteries real quick. Don't think anything too crazy here. Just basic War Master. This lore steal, I think, is like a little overrated if you're going Vamp because 2/3 of this you're missing out on. But since I was going broken set, it's pretty huge, and I don't think anything else here is that really that good. This will just help you shield the target that gets stunned by CB a little bit more. And then in the tier 5 tree, I picked up Kill Streak just because nothing else here is really that worthwhile for Valkyrie, and this might give you some help in dungeons and stuff. I'll run her probably in my Ice Golem and Fire Knight team as well. Alright, so let's go ahead and go into Clan Boss. Gonna be fighting Ultra today. Before I had Valka, I was running Rosin. 3-hit A1 and a second weaken and defense down. Let me not need to use Draco's weaken and defense down was nice. But now that I have Draco, I don't really need Rosin for those debuffers. And so subbing out Rosin for Valk for the first time. My previous best was around 16 mil on Ultra Clan Boss. I think this should be able to boost it up by quite a bit. I'm not sure how much more for these first couple rounds as I kind of learn how to use counterattack. And as I fully gear out the team and tune towards using it. You can see here, Valk went second to last. Ideally, you go last to maximize your counters, but since I am running a more speed version of counter, I'm not completely worried about speed tuning 100%. I'm basically going to get everyone to counterattack on the first AoE, and then the second AoE is going to be kind of a crapshoot. But the idea is you will make up for it in turns just by having more speed across your champs. Uh, and the other thing too is that this team is not hyper optimized for counter. I have no A1 poisoners or anything like that. Um, so the big thing here is just giving me the survivability to get the extra vamp procs in, as well as the big shield from Valkyrie. We'll go ahead, we'll speed up here, let you see through the whole fight without, having to wait through 10 minutes of manual. But I think this fight goes, pretty what I would expect to be normal from this team. The big things that I noticed were the Valk shield combined with Thenelsel heals was doing what I hoped in that I don't need to have Vamp on Valk. I think she does end up being the first to die here, but I'm hoping by maxing out her gear, she'll just have so much more defense than the rest of my team, even though she won't be healing up quite as much. By the time the clan boss is like significantly hurting her, I think my Draco will already be dead at that point. So I'd rather have the additional defense, giving the extra shield to keep Draco alive and the other squishier members of my team, as well as being able to run extra speed by going multiple speed sets. The other thing that I'll call out that I'm kind of still figuring out and it'll be interesting to play with is there's some nice synergy here between Thenelsel and Valkyrie. The damage done by Valkyrie's shield is what uh, gets the number on the shield. So if you have a defense up buff, then her Valk A2 will do more damage, give more shield to the entire team. So if you line those up, you'll get a really, really nice juicy shield, and it lasts 3 or 4 turns depending on the mastery. I think later in the fight, ideally you want to be alternating those, so the synergy isn't quite as much there. So you can have like a full rotation of either the shield up or the defense up to get you really late into the fight. Uh, One optimization that I'll probably be trying to make over the next couple of weeks is I did pull Lightsworn during the last void rush, so it's been about 3 or 4 weeks now. And if I could get the speed and accuracy to summon Lightsworn over Padma, then I would be able to keep my attack down while bringing in the defense up buff, and then I'll be able to rotate 100% uptime defense up buff between Lightsworn and Thenelsel, which will let me, get the big juicy Valk shield during the big slam and probably the single target slam as well as getting a little bit more counterattack damage. I've been pretty impressed by Padma's damage, but I think, the A3 on Lightsworn will uh, diverge more in terms of total raw damage once now that I have counter. So bring it back to normal speed. I think that I mess up around here. I wanted to get like a greedy extra counter in and waited a turn, and my Valk ended up not being quite as speedy, but wanted to kind of show how I actually end up dying in this fight. So I think we go from almost everyone healthy to really, really big slams. Now you can see that's even with the defense up buff. Draco barely lives. But because I'd used Thennesel's defense up buff preemptively, I now don't have the heal to top everyone off, and now Valk is pretty low. So as we go through here, I think everyone else is going to be okay. I don't quite get the heal back up on Thennesel, and now Valk is going to die. So I think here I probably could have either not used the heal preemptively and had Draco die earlier, or used it and then Valk dies and I get a couple extra turns off of the poison. This might have been the right choice. And I think I throw up the heal again here just because I'm afraid at this point that without a defense up buff on the bigger AoE, look at that, everyone's still taking tons of damage. But again, this is where if I had Lightsworn brought in here, then I could be not having to trade off between needing the heal and having the defense up. You just always have the defense up, and I can use the heal more proactively. So here we go. First key manual with a new team, 19.3 mil. Feels pretty good. A solid like 20% upgrade from my last key, but we'll continue to look to improve on this. Thanks for watching all. Make sure to leave the video a like if you enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time.